Hello guys and gals, welcome back to another episode of Creepypastas. Yes, Creepypastas. As much as I do gaming creepypastas, I occasionally sit down and do some non-gaming creepypastas. This is kind of one of those, it's a gaming slash non-gaming one. It's actually about a board game this time. It's called Rap Rat. Yeah, I know, the name, Rap Rat, whatever. But it was actually recommended a lot. A lot of people asked me to read this one, and you know, I like to take viewer suggestions. It's all based on what you all want, so that being said, let's go into Rap Rat and see what this creepypasta has in store for us. Ever heard of Nightmare? Like a lot of other games in the 90s, it came with a VHS which you timed with your play. The character on the video would give you instructions on what to do while you play the game in real time. Being a scaredy cat, I refused to play it when my mom brought it for us. My brother was disappointed about not being able to play Nightmare, but my mom had a solution. She brought out Rap Rat. It was a cheap, dingy little thing catered to kids my age. You went around the board, collected cheese, and the first player to reach the end would win. It seemed simple enough, and it reminded us of Mousetrap, which, we didn't have. There were no objections. We popped the movie into the VHS and set up the board. The first part of the video was just a simple explanation of the rules as well as instructions on how the game worked. Then, Rap Rat came out onto the TV. He was not what any of us had been expecting. My smaller brother, who was only 3 at the time, immediately left the room crying. The rat didn't even resemble a rat. The ears were far too big, it had a mouth lined with 2 teeth, and the inside of the mouth looked almost swollen. The most striking part about the thing, though, was the eyes. They were large, glassy, and fish-like. I asked, then bothered, then begged my mom to turn it off. Rap Rat suddenly shouted loudly, screaming and wailing, saying, "Wait your turn," in a demonic low-pitched voice that was not at all like his normal obnoxious nasal voice. In the background, we could hear the narrator saying, "He's Rap Rat and he's the boss," over and over again in an overly serious tone. The video was indescribable. Images crossed the screen in quick succession, overcut with Rap Rat's expressionless eyes. The images were some of the things I was afraid of at the time. A person looking over a balcony, a hornet slowly stinging someone's eye, an extreme close-up of a tarantula, a pit full of writhing cobras, and a bloodied syringe filled with green fluid. We immediately turned the video off, and I ran out of the room screaming, slamming my door. It took my mom 20 minutes to convince me that the video was gone, that I would never ever see it again. I had nightmares all week about Rap Rat. That wasn't the last time I saw Rap Rat. While my girlfriend and I were preparing to move in together, I was cleaning out the closet of my room and found Rap Rat again, with the same VHS and the same board game inside. It was almost perfectly intact, save for a thick layer of cobwebs and dust bunnies on top of it. This was strange. Didn't my mother get rid of it? And what was the game doing in my room? I let out a bit of a gasp when I found it, and my girlfriend came into the room, asking what was the matter. Breathing harshly, I said, "Rap Rat." She laughed a bit, asking if it was a joke. I shook my head, explaining that it wasn't. She didn't believe me. No one did. And I decided that the only way to prove it to her was to show her the video. I borrowed my neighbor's VHS and played the video for her. However, the images had changed. I saw a clown. It's now bursting and spraying blood onto the screen. I saw a woman alone in a dark room. I saw a man being forced to pick up white-hot metal and hold it in his outstretched hand, turning his hand to a leathery mess. The scratching I heard as a child continued, picking up louder and louder. Then Rap Rat showed up and began twisting and convulsing, its arms thrusting this way and that. The costume wasn't a costume anymore. The felt was real fur. Its face wasn't plastic, but instead a bristle of thorns and with teeth. The eyes turned inwards and suddenly popped out again. Rap Rat's huge fish eyes were inside out, staring right at me, watching my every move, my every expression. It grinned widely and gestured at my girlfriend and I with a single outstretched inhuman hand. I could hear the faintest scratching at my front door. The TV went blank and showed static. The scratching got louder. It wasn't scratching anymore, but thumping. The thumping of tiny feet on wood. My girlfriend embraced me in fear, and my senses kicked in. Before anything else could happen, I stopped the video, ejected, and unplugged the VHS. The scratching stopped, and when I looked out the living room window, nothing was there. The police showed up soon after, warning us that a neighbor had seen a figure outside of our door, and had called in concern. My girlfriend and I simply couldn't explain what had happened, and I had to tell the police officer that it was us. I was furious that a children's game was terrifying me. I went to pick up the tape, but the VHS burned my hand. It felt like I had touched a Bunsen burner on the highest setting. We had to get the oven mitts from the kitchen in order to take it out, and even then it was scorching hot. I brought it outside, tossed it down on the sidewalk, and crushed it with my winter boots. My girlfriend and I had nightmares every night. We would both wake up in the middle of the night and describe eerily similar images that we saw in our sleep. The scratching would always be there at night when lights were off and the room was pitch black, save for the moonlight coming in through the window. Now though, the scratching would happen every time I went near the front door, and every time we said Rap Rat's name, it sounded as if something very small was dragging something across the ground outside of the door, pacing, waiting. I would simply wait, with the covers pulled up to my neck, until I succumbed to exhaustion. At this point, I was determined to sue the company for damages. The first thing I did was call my mother and ask where she got Rap Rat. She had no idea. I found a merchant who sold versions of Rap Rat and asked how I could get in touch with the company. He sent me this email. I don't know about the game, but I know it was created by the same people who created Nightmare. The company is called A Couple of Cowboys. Try them. I did a bit more research and discovered that the company became defunct in 1994, only 2 years after the company created Rap Rat. I discovered why they did, though, soon after. See, in 1992, the year of the game's development, A Couple of Cowboys had commissioned a manufacturing company in Haiti to create the doll portrayed in the game. The company who created the puppet ran a sweatshop where they forced women and children to produce the various components of the puppet, including the felt and plastic of the doll. One day, a young Haitian girl got her arm caught in the industrial sewing machine. The spring loader, unable to handle the weight of the machine, came loose and struck the child's neck, killing her instantly. A few days after the funeral, the mother of the child came to the factory, demanding to see the owner, who denied that he had anything to do with it. In a fit of rage, the mother said that the blood from the innocent would seep into every crevice of the doll, every component with which it was created with, and all who touched it would die. She claimed to have summoned a fear demon and screamed at the top of her lungs, "Apparat will curse you." The owner simply laughed and told his corporate bosses about Apparat. They spread the joke from person to person, and the game was renamed as Rap Rat, a loose anagram of Apparat. Each recitation of the name Apparat brought with it a greater and greater curse. Only 2 years after Rap Rat was created, the company was shut down and the owners hired by Mattel. There were stories of the workers begging for days off, skipping works for weeks and weeks, finding the puppet in strange places. Sooner were the stories of suicide, grim, violent suicides, in which the workers would stab their hands and burn themselves to death, writing, "I am fear," on the nearest surface in blood. Nobody knows where the Rap Rat doll went after the original creators disappeared. Some say, though, that the last thing the victims saw before going insane were large, sunken, fish-like eyes. Now there are some words of warning. Number 1, never, ever say Apparat out aloud. Saying a demon's name out loud is an invitation to them, a calling. If you have already done this, it can't be undone. Do not try to speak to or contact Apparat. Avoid being awake between 3:30 a.m. and 4 p.m., when Rap Rat is most likely to try and scare you. Now moving on, the VHS is back, and I thought I'd stomped on it, smashing it to Kingdom Come, but it's back. I found it in my sock drawer yesterday. This time, I was ready. A whole bunch of people who had been contacting me, trying to get the tape, or some sort of video from the board game. My answer to you is that it's just too dangerous. If I did that, it could very well drive you insane, scare you to death, the video and the game, and Rap Rat itself has some sort of strange power. Rap Rat follows me everywhere I go. I see little shadows in the corner, or hear sounds coming down the hallway when I'm the only one home. If Rap Rat is there, it will let you know, but it will never let you see it, until it's too late, of course. A lot of people have been watching the normal video from the normal board game. That's the thing though, Rap Rat can be normal. It will trick you into thinking it's just a puppet, and then stalk you day and night. So, how was that? Not gonna lie, the name Rap Rat raised red flags, and to be fair, they were kind of right. There were parts about this creepypasta that really got noticed in my eyes. The bloody needle with green stuff in it, just throw it in there. Keyword, it was very bloody, and bloody, as well as some irregular build-up. It just went from, popping this game in, the VHS, seeing this crazy shit, and then seeing it again years later. And again, it also kind of mystifies me. A little side note is, the mom, I assume, saw it. The images and whatnot, the graphic images. The siblings saw it, the girlfriend saw it, Santa Claus saw it, everyone saw it, so why didn't anyone notify the authorities, press, or anyone? I would assume that's a big fucking deal. You don't just see dead shit while you play a copy of, or you play this ripoff of Mousetrap, rather. It just doesn't happen, and if the people in this creepypasta thought it was normal, perhaps, they need to get their head examined. But these are things that I just, found instantly hitting me right in the face. I just kept on wondering, what the fuck? Now, moving on, I did some research, and I noticed that Rap Rat is an actual board game, and it's essentially what the creepypasta detailed. Now, that's really it. This game is old, and not much information exists. I tried finding a copy of the VHS, and I actually was successful. See, someone uploaded it all entirely to YouTube, and I'll link it in the description below. But holy fuck, was it scary. I even watched a couple, commercials, and I'll link them below as well. Everything. Maybe it's because it's 2 in the morning right now, but I think I shit my pants watching one of them. Watching these videos. Let me check. Yes, I did in fact shit my pants. See, if it's one thing I have to give this creepypasta or Rap Rat in general, is it really does give me the creeps. I don't know what this couple of cowboys company was thinking, but whatever it was, should never be thought again. I mean, look at it. There you go, image on the screen. What sane child would not be scared by this fucking thing? The VHS tape, with the rapid cuts and that chilling voice, and the costume, not something anyone should really see. Now, the company of this creepypasta board game, if you will, a couple of cowboys, seems to be acquired by Mattel now. And they had other games like Nightmare. I think they actually did re-release it as an Atmosphere in certain parts of the world. Just Nightmare in general. They had this DVD re-release version of the game in 2004. But that's Mattel who were heading that release, so it seems like this creepypasta does fill in the, it does seem legit when it comes to dates and, acquisition details, stuff like that. Now, Apparat, moving on, is this fear demon that I just couldn't confirm. Whether it be a part of Haitian mythos, I cannot tell. But it seems likely, maybe not following the same name per se, but the idea would seem solid, something like that. But I mean, if you're an expert, just let me know in the comments below. Now, I said Apparat many times in this video, which is one of the rules I should never have broken, so I'm most likely screwed at this point. But whatever, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. The idea seems real to an extent. Maybe Rap Rat is real. You would think something relating to it might exist somewhere, at least reference to another Mattel product. I haven't really noticed it. Maybe they did, and I just didn't pick it up. But maybe they would. Rap Rat, something like that. The incident with the girl in Haiti, I fortunately couldn't find anything on, so I'm going to assume that such a tragic incident never occurred. And, I really couldn't confirm this game's production in Haiti. See, there's just not a whole lot of information on it. Save some trailers, commercials, the VHS tape, and whatnot, which helps the creepypasta too, as it seems so ambiguous that you can really say anything in this creepypasta, and because of the game's nature itself, Rap Rat, you can sort of believe it. Now, I think the ending was okay in the creepypasta, the audio section, and, it was a tad bit cliche, but it was okay. It ended on leaving us wondering if Apparat is real. Not really a cliffhanger, just left us there, I mean, it ended, but, it also gave us this little bit of ambiguity. And, honestly, is Rap Rat or Apparat real? I don't think so, but then again, the world is not what it seems. Tell me if you think Apparat is real, and if you're dreading Rap Rat, to show up next to your bed sometime. Hell, maybe even after watching this video or saying Apparat or Rap Rat or whatever, I don't know, he might appear next to you standing over you as you sleep, and you wouldn't even know it until the end. But anyways, what would you rate this creepypasta in? What would you change to make it better? This has been another episode of Creepypastas, and if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. This is me, Mudahar, and I am